Hello, welcome back. So last time we completed our profile application design. I mean profile page design, not application design. Anyway, so what we are going to do now is to work on the favorite page, okay? But this time what I'm going to do is to move, I mean change the location of this um button with this one, okay, the position, and then change this favorite to explore because we want the user to explore all the food items that we have in our restaurant. And this application is for a single restaurant, okay, not multi-restaurant. When you look at the design inspiration that I'm taking, these applications are for multiple restaurants, but we are doing for just a single restaurant, okay. I'm taking the inspiration from here. Okay, this you can see that our first page looks like this. Okay, our home page looks like that. Let me show you from here. When you look at our home page, it looks like something like this. Okay, so I'm taking the inspiration. Sorry, I'm taking the inspiration from here, and then this one because our profile page is was taken from here. Okay, and this time we are going to design the explore page, and we are going to use a design like this, okay, a design like this. But then you're not going to design it exactly like this because you're not going to do the overlay. You can do that with a stack, but then we are not going to do because I don't want to design it exactly like this, okay. But we're going to do something similar to this, okay. And okay, so let's just go ahead with that. So let's first change the position of this one. I wanted to that was done in the main screen. Okay, in the main screen, that's where we have our bottom navigation item, and you can see this is the favorite item. Okay, I can copy that code here and then bring it before the others page because I want the others button, okay, to be close to the profile. And then now let's save. Let's see now that it changes. I want to change it from favorite to explore for the user to explore all the food items we have. Okay, and then change this one to explore. Okay, let's save and see what we get. So we have the explore here, and then we have the others page here. But now when we click on the explore, you still see the others full item, and then when you click on the others, you still see the favorite page, and that's not what we want. So what we want to do is to make sure that when we come here, okay, we have to also change the position of the pages. So you have to take the others page to come before after the favorite page, okay. So now when we save, let's reload the whole thing, okay, and then let's see what we get. Okay, okay, so now when I click on the explore page, you can see we have the favorite page, okay, and then when I click on this, you can see this one. So that's exactly what we want, and then that's okay. So now let's go to the favorite page that we created. That's this one, okay, the pages and this favorite. So this is what we are going to change to explore page, where we will have all a list of our food items. Okay, so now when I click here, you see the explore page. So let's work on the explore page. When you look at here, what do you think we need? We need a search button, okay, something like this, okay, and we also need a list of our food items. So in this sense, we can use different approach for this, okay. But first, let's work with the list item here that we have here, okay. So I'll just go ahead with a column, okay. Let me start with a column here. Okay, so we have the column, and then we know that it will have some children, and then the children, we know we have a text widget there, which is saying something like yellow. We change it anyway. Um, so that's yellow food, whatever. But then you're going to see um, all food items, something like that. And then we have it here. We have it at the top there. So we will still need Let me just change this whole thing to scaffold. Let me just um, put the column there, okay, and now format the thing. Yeah. Okay, so with this one, we can also decide to put this whole thing in a container. This whole thing inside a container, so that we can have some padding. Okay, that's the reason why we are putting it in a container. And then now we can go ahead and put the padding there. Edge insert dot all. So for the top, bottom, left, and right, we are putting 16 there. Let's see. We still have our thing there, so let's just change it to symmetric. And let's come here. We know that for the horizontal we just want 16, okay, but for the vertical we can go ahead and change it to 50. So the vertical is for the top and then the bottom. Okay, so now we have it here. And what again can we now do? We have to change the size, and then now we design the food, the card for the food item. So let's just go ahead and give it a star. Okay, and we can go into font size to 16.0, and then font weight to be font weight dot bold. Okay, so I think it's too small. Let's go to 20. You will bring the search bar there later. Okay, so you have all food items, and then we have to now design the food cart. So I'll just go ahead with a container here. Don't worry, we'll change. I want to do the design first, and now we'll specify the width to be media query dot of contest dot height dot size, sorry, dot size dot width. Okay, to take the full width that we have. Okay, and then this time, okay, we can also inside we can also specify the height to be something like 200. Okay, and now we can go into the decoration for us to decorate our container. Okay, and that is the box decoration. We can now give it a color to see what we have. So for now, let's give it a color of red. So this is the container we have now. It's too big, so let's reduce the size to 150. I think this is okay. So now with this one, let's give it some margin for both top and bottom. So dot symmetric, and then we can use the vertical and specify a margin of, let's say, 10. I think for now will be okay. So the margin is the space around the container. Okay, so now we can go ahead and also give it some border radius, border radius, specify border radius. Okay, that's circular, and then we can put the radius inside. Let's say 10 will be okay, because we want just small design. Okay, so now this is okay. But when we look at this, instead of putting the image, overlaying the image over the card here, we are going to put it inside. Okay, so here the chart of this container now should be a row here. Okay, and then we can have children, okay, here, and we can decide to put another container. Let's do it a container here for the image side. Okay, I don't want to just put the image there, but then put the image in a container. So when we do that, let's use a decoration for this. Okay, so let's specify a height, a width, and we can specify the width to be something like 50.0, and we can also specify the height. Let's go on with the height. Okay, and then now we can do the decoration. What's decoration? Okay, And inside the inside the box decoration, we can also give it an image. Okay, an image of asset image for now, because we are not fetching it from the internet. um sorry, it's supposed to be a decoration image. Sorry. And then inside we can specify the image here to be asset image here. Okay. And this time to the image, the asset image is simply an image that we have in our asset folder here. So I'll just go ahead and then specify the path for one, which is inside the asset folder, images, breakfast, the jpg. Okay, and then save. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we have the image here, and then that is okay. But then we also have to specify the fit. um, Let me check something from here. We have the asset image. We can also come here and then specify the fit here. The fit, I'm just copied, format it this way for you to see something. I want you to see where the fit is coming from. So the fit is rather in the decoration image, not inside the asset image. So inside here, fit box fit dot cover, and let's see what we get. Okay, so now it's now taking the full height and width of this container. I think this thing is still big here. Let's change it to 20 for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to increase this to, let's say, 80, 80, and let's see what we get. Okay, let's increase it to 90, 90, 90. Okay, you can choose any size you want. Okay, and this time too, we also want to give it rounded corners like we did before. So I'll just go ahead and copy this one and then paste it in our decoration image here. Sorry, not in our box decoration here. The border radius. Okay, and then paste this. I copied both, so let me just paste it here and then save. Okay, so you can see we are having the same rounded corners for all that. And now we can also go ahead and then give some margin around the image container. Okay, so let's give a margin, and this time we want a margin on the left and then right. So we can go as hedge insert symmetric, and this time we are specifying for the left and right, so that was horizontal, and we can specify 10.0. Okay, so we have it this way, and I think it looks good. So I will change the color of the container to white now, and then save. And we don't see anything clear here. So what I'm going to do is that in this container, because we are not using the card, we could have just used the card for this one. Okay, and I didn't do that. When we change this to card, for example, like we were doing before, then we wouldn't have the ability to specify the weight, and then um but then we can also do that. We can go ahead with the card, or we can also use a container and then make it look like a card. Okay, by giving it just a shadow. So we can go ahead. Let me just go with the container, and then here I can go ahead with a box shadow here, and then these box shadows will have box shadow dot or um, sorry, um, box shadow. Yeah, it's supposed to be a list. So box shadow dot or. Yeah, so box shadow. I wanted to use the or, so we can specify the blur radius, which is the spread of the spread of the shadow, and then we also have the offset. Okay, so we can go ahead with the offset here, and then we have to specify the x and then the y. Okay, so the horizontal and the vertical. In the horizontal we don't want anything, so we want 0, and then in the vertical axis we want 0.5. Let's see what we get. We also have to specify the color here, sorry, color to colors dot black, let's say 36, and then let's see. So you can see that this is looking like a card. Okay, so you can choose it to do it this way, okay, or you can simply change this to, let's also do that and see, change this to a card, and then changing this to a card, we have to remove all this code from there, this design code from there. So I'll just comment it for now, and then we can come here, and then instead of just the row, we will, let's save it and see something. And you can see that we still have the design for the card here. Okay, but then we can also do our own card like we've done here. So let me just go back. So you can choose to do what you want. Okay, but I think I wanted this way. Let me check the S axis to be 1.5, and let's see how it looks. Yeah, so let me just increase it to 3. Let's see. Okay, so it's like now the elevation is more, so I think that's okay. And when we look at, we need a title, and then we need the description, the price, and then a button to buy. Okay, so to do this, we can see that the items are in a column from top to the bottom. Okay, so we need a column for this one inside the row. So when we come into our row here, we can now go ahead and specify a column inside our row. Okay, and then we can have our children, and then we need the name of the product, I mean of the food item. Let's say name of food, and save it, so we can see it's up there. Okay, let's just increase the font size. So font, sorry, star, text star, and then we can specify the font size dot sorry, I'm just thinking it's font width, so I can just go ahead and give it this one, and we can go ahead with font width dot bold. Okay, save it. We also have to go ahead with okay, I think we have to also put the description there. So the description is also a text. Okay, you can just go ahead with this one. And this is the description of the food item here, and then save that one also. So we have this one here, we have that one today. Okay, don't worry, we will design it. And then the last, we also have 2 items here. It's in the column, but then it has to be in a row. Okay, so let's go down here, and then inside here we have a row here. Okay, and then we have these children, and now we need a text. Okay, and then in this text we have the price, which is let me just put my currency there, which is, I think I spoke about the currency last time in my previous videos. Okay, so with this one you have to check previous videos for it, and then I put, let's say 90, and let's see what I get. I have it here, okay. And then I also want the button, so we can do something quickly here. Give it a height of, let's say, let's look for something here. In the profile page, we designed the edits, okay, edit container, and it is this one. I should have made this one a button, a small button. So let's copy this code from here, okay, and let's make it a widget, because if you look at the design here, the buy looks like the edit button that we have in our profile page. You see, they look the same, so it is more reasonable to just copy that code and make it let's say small button, something like this, okay. And then now let's create that widget here. Small button, something like this, dot, and let's import our packages. Okay, and then we can create our stateless widget, and I say small button here, and now we can paste the code that we copied to this side. Okay, let me format this side. So we copy the code here. We know the height and then the width is okay. We are not going to change it. The only thing we are going to change here will be the name, okay, the text. So we can go ahead and final string btn text. That's the text of the button, okay, and then we have to accept it through the constructor here, and we can just go ahead with this one, okay. And inside here, when we get the value there, we can now put it here, btn text here, and now we have this. So let's go back to the profile page and let's import the button, okay. And now we can just go ahead and say edit, and that should be the btn text, okay. So when we save and go to the profile page, we should see it there, it's still there. So let's go back to our explore page, and now let's go back to our favorite page, which is it our favorite page? Yeah, it's still our favorite page. We didn't change the name of the file. So when we come here, that's where we have the 90. So instead, we can now go ahead and change this to small button, and then specify the btn text, and we are going to make it by, and then yeah. So when we save, let's see what we get. So we have it there, and we have this one there. Now we have to actually make the design look okay here. So where is it? So we have it here. We have to make the design look better here. So first of all, we know that this is in a row here. We have to specify where is this is the container that we are using for our application, okay. The container we are using for our application, okay. What is the name of the food item? Name of the, here it is. We have this column, we have this row which is holding the container, the design for our image, and then we have this container which is for the whole card, okay. So when you look at it, we know that we have all our items in this, and then there's no padding inside the container, and that's not good. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is to put padding on this side, and then copy copy this code from here, which is the margin around the image, okay. Copy it from there, this margin. So now if I paste this code here, okay, and then now save it, where is it? we are having the horizontal. That's not what we want. So we want, let's say, all. We want all, and then for top, bottom, left, and right, we want all. So let's see what we get. Okay, so now we can see that this thing came down some more, and we can also make sure that this thing has a. We still need margin for this. Okay, then that will be the margin right here. Let me just do something here first quickly and see something. Comment this code and see what we get. Okay, so we can bring it back and save it, but then we still need the image to have a margin. Okay, and this is the code for the image. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it the margin like we had before, but then this time we are just going to say only for the right. Okay, okay, and then save it. And our button overflow by 3 pixels, that's okay. But then we have these items here. Okay, inside our row 2, we want to specify the main axis alignment to start. Okay, and also we also want to um where is our column here, and inside our column main axis alignment, we also want that to be the center, be at the center. mm, I think it's okay. Pause is in the center, and then we can also put some spaces around. Okay, size box, and then we can specify the height to be 20 pieces, because we can see that there are some spaces in between. Okay, and then I think 20 is too much. Let's make it 15, and then we can do the same for this one. Put it here, and let's see what we get. Okay, so we have this. We will fix this error later. Let's just go ahead with what we are doing, and we have to also specify this. There have to be a space in between these two items. So we can just come here inside our row and specify main axis alignment, and say main axis alignment and space between, and save it. Let's see what we get. We are not getting any space between these two, and that's a big problem. The reason is this row doesn't have a specific size. Okay, it doesn't have a specific size. It doesn't have a specific size here. So what we are going to do here um is to make sure that we put this row inside a container, and then we will tell the container to take the full available space, or we can put it in expanded let's see, expanded widget. Let's see what we get, and put the container inside. Let's see what we get. Okay, we are in a column, sorry, so I don't need it that way. I don't need it that way. So I want a container instead. Okay, so that I can specify the width to be, let's say, double dot infinity. Let's see how this one will look. And chart should be what we have here. Save it and see what we get. And now we can't find our items. Okay, let's specify a height for this. Let's say 50. Let's see what we get. Even after specifying the height, we don't see anything. This is really interesting. um so let's just go back to how it was before. Okay, sorry, I know why it's not working, because double dot infinity will go to will take infinity. the infinity size, and this is not good. So let's specify this to, let's just do media query dot of context and dot size dot width, and let's see something. This is supposed to give you the um full width of the, of the screen size. So this one is also not happening. So let's just go ahead and let's say half of the screen, okay, and let's see what we get. You can see it's actually coming up, okay. So what I'm going to do here is give it a fix. um when we get to responsive design, okay, we will change all this later. So I will just give it a fixed value here. Let's see, face value. Let me just color this color so that I know what I'm actually having here. So I can increase this to 200 because, yeah, I think 200 is okay. Let me just add 10 to it. Okay, so I think this one is okay. But then we have a problem here, because this thing is overflowing at the bottom because of this height. So now let's remove the height so that this will wrap around it. Okay, yeah, and then that's okay. So now we can go ahead and take this one off, and now we can work on the color, the price here, style, and then text style, and we can specify the font size to 16.0, and we can also specify the font width to font width bold, and we can also specify the color, the colors dot blue. Okay, save it. Yeah, so we have this, and then we have our button there. Now we have a problem with this text here. Okay, we have this problem with the text here. Okay, let me see. We have to put our text in a test wrap. Okay, so let me see something. There's a widget, I think should be wrap or something. Yeah, and then we can, let me see something if this will work. It doesn't make any sense, so let me just take this one out. Yeah, and look for a better solution here. A better solution is we can also put this text in a container, but I think there's a package for this test wrap here, test wrap or something. Um, um, responsive text. Okay, not this one. It's supposed to be, let me just search for simple test and let's see what we get. So test, yeah, so auto size test, something like this. I think this one will just decrease the size as the test increases, it will just decrease the size. um that is not what I actually want, but in a sense it will still wrap around it. Okay, so what I'm looking for one package. Let's just go ahead, animated test kit, um speech to test. Okay, I'll just find a solution for that in the next tutorial, but then let me just go ahead and put this one in a container here. um Container here, And this container, we know that we can have a weight of at least 120, 210 here, 210.0, and we can put this one inside, and let's see if it will at least solve this issue for us. Okay, so we can reduce this size here um, to, let's say, 200, and then save. Why am I still getting right overflowed by 2.0? Then I think this is coming from this side. Let me change this to 200 and see. Yeah, okay, it was coming from here. So you can see that now, as our test is in the container, it will just, as the test increase, this is really awesome. Yeah, and then see, it will just wrap and then come down. So I'll go ahead and reduce this, the space here. And I think we can. Okay, so we have one problem here. When you look at the alignment of this, you can see that they are all aligned to the left. Okay, so inside this column here, instead of main axis to be, okay, the main axis should be center, that's okay, but then the cross axis, which is to the left or right, should be start. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now we have our food here. So let's say, let's change this one to be breakfast. Okay, so now we have our food item, but then there's a problem with this test here, the test that we have here. When it grows, when you are specifying the description of the food item, this can cause a problem. Okay, so you may choose to use the auto says auto text, yeah, auto size text here. Okay, so in later videos maybe we'll do that, but then for now let's just keep this design here, and then that is okay. But then we also have a problem here. Okay, inside our column here, um inside our column here, okay, we have this column, and then we still have our item aligned at the center. So we say cross axis alignment dot start. Okay, so that they all start from the left. Okay, so we have that one. Let me just increase this to 60. Yeah, so this one too, we can put some size box there and give it a height, of let's say 20.0. So guys, you should know that we are going to change this into a list item, because that's what we actually want. So that's what we have for this design for now, and then we are going to, when we start fetching it from the database, we are going to change the whole thing into a list. Okay, so instead of using just a container here, we are going to use a list here, and then put our container inside. This whole thing is our container. Okay, so let me see how many was the length for the video. But then we can also go ahead. I want us to start using Firebase for this application, okay, instead of using the PHP. So we are going to do something. This application will be used by the admin, and also will also be used by the users. So I'm going to create a place, okay, where it is only for the admin. So when you log in as a user, it will check whether you are an admin or you are just a normal user. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to create a new folder here, and do admin. Okay, save it here. um and then this is where we are going to do all the admin stuff here. So we can create a new folder inside as a pages. So this will be the pages that belongs to the admin, and then we can go ahead and create a new page called add food item. Okay, that. So in this one, we will design the test fields for the food items. Okay, and then we will, after designing, we will push, from there we will add items or food items into our database, into our Firebase, okay, and then we can retrieve it. Okay, so that's what we are going to do as the admin. Okay, so I will leave the code here, and then